I think there's a misconception when it comes to Tesla EV cars, EVs in general. I mean, there's also a misconception on the man Tesla, the word Tesla, the name Tesla, Nikola Tesla, the originator of all this technology. But today, one big question I'm going to ask about electric vehicles, because that's all we see now, right? It's like the new thing. Everybody wants to be green. So here's the question. Are these things really as green as they say they are? Let's get into it. Here go some of the drawbacks. And we're only going to touch on three. They're pretty massive in scale, and this is why. First of all, the battery replacement. A lot of people are starting to see, just like your phone, you charge it, you use it all the way to dead, you charge it, use it to dead. After some point in time, right now, it's 5 to 10 years for these Tesla batteries. Literally. That's why you don't buy first gen anything. But battery replacement is one of the major drawbacks. Not only because you have to mine to get these materials to make the battery, but on top of that, it's not as easy to just reuse these batteries as the media is going to make it sound. And we can go through technical articles, most people will just fall asleep with that type of stuff. Today I got some pictures for you though. You know what I'm saying? Today I got some pictures and good artwork. So we could go right through this and paint the broader picture that's really starting to rear its head. Next, mining's terrible for the environment. That we already know. Pollution on the global scale. Supposedly, electric vehicles are supposed to be good for the environment. As we're going to see through this presentation, it seems like everything coming from the media right now is ass backwards. Why is open pit mining so devastating? First of all, this is how they get their stuff, okay? Nickel, cobalt, lithium, all of it's got to be mined from the ground. And they do it open pit style, just as you see on the screen here. I don't know exactly where this one was taken. I don't know. But this is how it's done. All right. When you see the deforestation going on out in the rainforest, Indonesia and the Philippines and all that, this is that. Okay. Deforestation comes from mining as well. Not just because they need the wood. Now, they do that as well, but it's only picking up. It's only getting worse. It's only becoming more prevalent. And coming with that goes the pollution. I mean, this creates an immense amount of pollution. First of all, goes let's just read it. Soil, water, air, habitat, human life. Everything is impacted by this. This is what they want to do for everybody's car that has to be replaced every 5 to 10 years. We only have so much land. Can't put the nickel back in the ground. So my theory is starting to be painted, right? The picture is starting to become clear, right? When we're looking at it on a global scale, right? When you talk about the big companies, the United States, China, this is probably somewhere in the United States, China, or the Philippines, right? Where it's big companies who are doing this. It's conglomerates, right? Where they're literally just destroying our earth behind our back and we don't even know about it, right? Like you can't get onto these sites, first of all. You can't even see them. Secondly, actually, that's not true. There is one open pit mining facility right off the 15 freeway in Corona. I drive by it all the time. It's like on the backside of this hill. Now what they're doing there is they're repurposing it. They're mining a hill. They took an entire hill down, which is cool. Like I don't have a big problem with it because they're gonna put houses on it next after that. But the thing is, this is happening everywhere, and when it happens everywhere is when we start to see global shifts in our weather patterns, etc., etc., etc. More things that you'll see as we go through this slide deck. Second point on mining. You look at the top right corner, 40,000 reported child laborers from the DRC Mining Industry Child Labor and Formalization Small Scale Mining Report. That right there should piss you off. This is where these people are getting the materials, okay? We were talking back here. What is this? The open pit mining. This is typically for stuff like, let me see, deforestation for like nickel and things like that. Now, when we're over here in the DRC, as you can see, at the bottom, right? Graphite, China, nickel, Philippines, rainforest, deforestation, lithium, Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, cobalt, DRC. As you can see, cobalt, one of the main ingredients needed, 70% of it's coming from the DRC. And guess what? We're getting that nickels on the dime. No pun intended. And it's not like we don't know. It's not like it's not in the news. Well, it's not in the news, but it's not like you can't look this stuff up and get the information. This is child labor. Kind of the same way Walmart does, outsourcing its stuff from China. This is the same thing. So they can upsell it to you as a $60,000 electric vehicle that's good for the environment. Is this good for the environment? Quickly, I can tell you, it's not good for the environment. Next, right? Next. I don't want to say that, child labor is not bad, but this is actually worse, in my opinion. Deforestation is worse. Why, do you ask, maybe? Because this has to do with our global weather patterns, the amount of carbon in the air, et cetera, what they're trying to stop, right? With the internal combustion engine, too much carbon. What's the impact of taking all the trees away, right? If we're trying to capture carbon, don't trees do just that? So I'm telling you guys, this entire narrative is backwards. It's backward. Move on. Actually, before we move on, it's crazy. It's easy to find this information. It's easy. I mean, there's so much stuff that's required. You can just look up one of these materials and you can see that, hey, this probably isn't good for our environment. Maybe this is what we should be talking about when we're talking about these Tesla green vehicles. But we're not. We're just going to skip over this like it's not important. But to me, like I said, this is the most backward position you could take. There's other ways to mine for nickel. You could do underground. Well, I guess it's not. It's much harder to do it that way. That's why it's not done that way. That's why they just do it this way. They just take the entire forest down. Let's just keep moving. And they take the entire forest down because they're doing what? Open pit mining, which is terrible for the air, the water, the habitat, and the humans. All right. Let's move over to China, graphite. Tesla cars require about 100 to 110 pounds of graphite per vehicle. And you've seen what China looks like during the day. That's that bottom left corner. That's what it looks like. That's why they're all wearing masks. Then you've seen them wearing masks since like 2000. Since I was a little kid, I've known China had pollution problems. You know why? They're one of the biggest open pit mining countries. And they have the largest graphite export. And read my points. Even when it hurts their own people, they're still doing it. The U.S. will continue to buy from them, i.e., we're allowing this to happen. Questions why? Why will we continue to push this agenda when we know these things? Because for you to sit there and act like Joe Biden doesn't know these things, it's blasphemy. Got a whole team of niggas working all day and all night to make sure he knows the tip of the top of everything. So how could he continue to push the narrative that this stuff is green? I don't know. Let me continue this. I know that would seem like it was short. We're not done. FEE. These are engineers. You know me. I'm an engineer. So I'm going to go to the source. I'm going to find the people who work on these things and they talk and see how they talk about it. Saving the environment, fighting climate change. That is no longer true. Do we need to keep going? Who is this? FEE stories. The downside of electrical vehicles. Let me just go so we don't have a 30-minute video on this easy topic, right? Let me keep going. Electric batteries, graphite, and pollution in China. China's pollution. There's the picture I had, right? It's insane. You can't sit here and tell me that this is green. It's not good for the environment. Keep going. Green batteries, graphite adds to China. I'm not going to create an account. Let's see. We'll just read what we can see, right? Just to prove a little bit of what I'm saying to you. Bloomberg. Environmentally conscious Americans do their bit to help air, paying up eco-friendly Prius, Sport, Tesla, damaging from pollutant range. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I mean, even this sentence doesn't make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I mean, you can kind of read it at the bottom down here. It's mostly mined and processed in China, where the graphite pollution has fouled air and water, damaged crops, and raised health concerns. Which you can easily see. I mean, when you go look at people who are reporting from China, they'll tell you, right? They'll tell you. Bloomberg, they're going to paint a little picture. Oh, Americans trying to be conscious. We're not conscious. Who's conscious? You're conscious. You're not even saying that. Bloomberg's part of the problem, I would say. Just be straight out with it. Tell the truth. And then everything else is easy. This is Washington Post. All you have to look up is graphite, China, Washington Post. This is how they feel about it. There now this is how you report the news. Dude wipes his window. You see that? That's in his air. Come on, guys. And we're still sitting here saying this is green for the environment. Just keep on going. And Biden wants to make every single car an electric car by 2030. Where's the sense in this? Now, if there is something I'm missing, please drop down in the comments. Maybe we have some new form of making these batteries that is just, groundbreaking. And we can reuse them and never have to change them. Maybe that's what we're coming to. But that's not what we're seeing right now as I'm presenting. All right? Electric vehicle push is sparking massive deforestation, environmental damage. Massive deforestation. That is not good for your environment. And that's what they've been saying since day one. Yet we keep doing it. Nickel mining, the hidden environmental cost of electric cars. I mean, you can go through each and every one of these materials and you'll find the same thing. You have to mine for them. When you mine for them, that's bad for the water, the air, the people, and the habitat, all the wildlife. We can go back to the example of the one country who is the biggest graphite exporter. What do? Open pit mining. Look at their air. It's not rocket science. Really not rocket science. Not. How rare earth mining has devastated China's environment. It's not rocket science. And look at the date, 2020. So don't tell me you didn't know about it, because you know. You're still doing it because you don't care. China wrestles with toxic aftermath of rare earth mining. I'm telling you, they're having acid rain because of this. They have graphite rain. Graphite in their rain. Do we want that? That's where I'm going to end my video. When we go to the question of what's the agenda and who's behind it, I'd say all of your political figures, majority of your media figures are in on it. There's no way a person called that he takes the name of Nikola Tesla. Let's just be real with what's going on here. He unveils the technology that we've been had as new tech. And he does it in a way in such that it destroys our planet while it's happening. And in a way in such that he can get most of the materials through child labor and free, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not here in the United States, of course, because we're not going to do it here. We're going to act like we're perfect and we're just going to get it all. We're going to outsource it all, even though we know what's happening. So the question is, when are we going to step in and do our part? When are we going to step in and start talking about it? And I want to know what your comments are. I want to know what your thoughts are. Maybe I'm missing something, like I said. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate y'all for sticking here to the end. Are EVs good for the environment? In my opinion, I don't think so. Later.